Hello! How are you guys? How was your day? Let's get rolling with the hula. You ready for a hula? Okay, when I call your name. Here's to Anna and Bobby Ellen and the way they do the hula. Here's to Anna and Bobby Ellen and the way they do the hula. Come on, Anna and Bobby Ellen, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Augie and Camille and the way they do the hula. Here's to Augie and Camille and the way they do the hula. Come on, Augie and Camille, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Charlie and Hannah and the way they do the hula. Here's to Charlie and Hannah and the way they do the hula. Come on, Charlie and Hannah, give us the show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Diati and Harper and the way they do the hula. Here's to Diati and Harper and the way they do the hula. Come on, Diati and Harper, give us the show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Joaquin and Juliet and the way they do the hula. Here's to Joaquin and Juliet and the way they do the hula. Come on, Joaquin and Juliet, give us the show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Judah and Kai and the way they do the hula. Here's to Judah and Kai and the way they do the hula. Come on, Judah and Kai, give us the show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Kayla and Lakin and the way they do the hula. Here's to Kayla and Lakin and the way they do the hula. Come on, Kayla and Lakin, give us the show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Kingston and Lucy and the way they do the hula. Here's to Kingston and Lucy and the way they do the hula. Come on, Kingston and Lucy, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Max and Oscar and the way they do the hula. Here's to Max and Oscar and the way they do the hula. Come on, Max and Oscar, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Nova and Rhea and the way they do the hula. Here's to Nova and Rhea and the way they do the hula. Come on, Nova and Rhea, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Roscoe and Tristan and the way they do the hula. Here's to Roscoe and Tristan and the way they do the hula. Come on, Roscoe and Tristan, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Taylor and Victor and the way they do the hula. Here's to Taylor and Victor and the way they do the hula. Come on, Taylor and Victor, give us the show. Show us how you do the hula. Here's to Ren and the teachers and the way they do the hula. Here's to Ren and the teachers and the way they do the hula. Come on, Ren and the teachers, give us a show. Show us how you do the hula. I was thinking of that because that's what they do in Hawaii, and I was telling you today that my name is a Hawaiian flower. So I thought about the hula. Okay, I wanted to sing with you. I forgot one more song that my dad would sing to me to go to sleep. And it's a song about a book, but it's in Spanish. I couldn't remember all the words, but I have them now. And it's about how the book is like gold, and it's so precious and has the fragrance of the world, and it gives us everything that we need for growing in our childhood, all that kind of stuff. So it goes like this. Libro mío, mi tesoro, como el oro te querer. Porque afreces a la infancia la frangancia del saber. Libro mío, mi tesoro, como el oro te querer. Porque afreces a la infancia la fragancia del saber. Afanoso yo te tomo por el lomo para ver. Y en tus líneas cuando leo me recreo al silabear. Oh, I love that song so much. My dad wrote I think it's a poem, and my dad wrote the music to it. Okay. I have a book about a wonderful lady who planted flowers everywhere. Let's see. How did she plant these flowers everywhere? It's called Miss Rumphius by Barbara Cooney. There's some flowers. They're called lupins, and we have lupins in Tahoe too. The Lupin Lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupin Lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, can you see her? She could see the wharves and the bristling masts of the tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. Now he worked in a shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads. Look at that. It's kind of sculptures made out of wood to put on the front of ships. For Alice's grandfather, he was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of the sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him paint in the skies. There she is, helping him paint. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. Whoop, sorry. She listened to the stories. When he finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places, and when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate her porridge for breakfast. She went to school, came home, did her homework, and pretty soon, time went by, and she was a grown-up. Then, when she was a grown-up, my great-aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city, far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about the faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." There's beautiful flowers growing even. It's protected from the winter. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys. She walked on long beaches picking up beautiful shells. One day she met the Bapa Raja, king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Bapa Raja's wife. The Bapa Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Bapa Raja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise in the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "You will always remain in mine too," said Miss Rumphius. Wow, look at all those cute little kids. She went to a faraway place. My great-aunt Miss Alice Rumphius climbed tall mountains. Wow, where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "Oh, what a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time to find my place by the sea." And so she did. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it across the sky and sparkle on the water, and saw it set in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what?" she thought. "The world is already very pretty and nice." She looked over the ocean and thought. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose. "Lupins," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupins the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could still have more flowers next year." But she was not able to. Look at those pretty lupins that she can see from her window. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better, and now she could take walks again. One afternoon she started to go up and over the hill, where she had not been in a while. "I don't believe my eyes!" she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupins. It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. Look, her house is way over here, and the wind blew the seeds, and now more flowers grew there. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house to buy 5 bushels of lupin seed. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seed, wandered over fields and headlands sowing lupins. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and the back of the church. She tossed them into the hollows and the long stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her any more at all. Now some people called her that crazy old lady. She's sowing the seeds. That means she's planting them in different places. The next spring, there were lupins everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes, bright patches around the school and all the buildings. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. Let's see if you can see. All the flowers everywhere, all over the place. My great-aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is all white. Every year there are more and more lupins. Now they call her the Lupin Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupins. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, says my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right. There's all the kids listening to the stories of all her travels and planting the seeds. But for me, I do not know yet what that can be. All the kids are gathering. They're playing in the fields of lupins. What can you do to make the world more beautiful? I like that story. Planting beautiful flowers everywhere. I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow.